Well, we'll just tell your mother that we ate it all.
All right, we just had to go out because we didn't have power.
We didn't have supplies.
Yeah, we didn't have power for the Zoom. So now we got our batteries. We've got our Duracells as well. That one.
We spent 5 minutes planning that bit.
Yeah, that one was. That
I
one
reckon
was,
Duracell sounds like should be a condom.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That one was written by Andrew
I guess because
Hastings.
there's
It's because of
Like
Ansel and
and
Durex.
Durex,
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah.
They should go in together. Because then if they went in a partnership with Duracell, it'd be like go all night.
Yeah, that is good. They call me the Energina Energina.
They call you the Energina Bunny?
They call me the Energina Bunny because I don't know.
Oh, great improv there.
All right, do you
So
want
we
to
see it takes you like, hang on, give us 5 minutes and then you can see if you can come up with something.
Hammer out the details.
just
of that
interrupting something about game night, just being like, oh, here's what it is.
Okay, well then you just decided which movie we're doing.
Well, it
Yeah,
could
we
be
haven't
next
actually,
movie.
Yeah, do you want to do game night?
Yeah, why
I
not
watched
do
them
it?
in that order, so let's do game night.
I've
Yeah,
got a give me a second. I've got the latest installment of the Andrew Hastings fan fiction story that's
Oh, okay.
ongoing.
Oh, you're just going straight into it.
Chapter
Yeah.
2, let's go.
Yeah, well, that's how we started last time. So I figured there's no point doing it right in the middle because this way we can lose listeners right up top
That's
with
true.
incomprehensible in-jokes.
Hey, because I'm a famed impressionist.
Yeah. Do you want to do some of the voices?
Well, next week, should I maybe read the story as someone?
Maybe next week.
Okay.
Maybe in next week's installment, I'll play to your strengths and add a couple of new characters. Let me just check that I saved it on my computer because it's not coming up on my phone. You guys riff.
Yeah, this is definitely going to be worthwhile.
Yeah. Well, you definitely want to wait for this because this does nothing but feed your ego.
That's true.
Actually, that's a story worth telling.
Which story?
I went and got a brunch this morning with Beck Charwood,
I
former
don't like
guest.
where this is going.
And
I have no idea what you're referring to.
well, she said, I don't know when, a little while ago, she said she was walking down Redfern Street or something like that
Oh, yeah.
and saw you
Yeah.
walking down the street and you just had this big smile on your face. And she was like, I waited for a second to cross the street so I could like get
Yeah.
a bit more of him and like see him looking so happy. And she walked up to you and like tapped you on the shoulder and was like, why do you look so happy? And you're like, I'm listening to my podcast.
Is that true, Doug?
It's good content. What can I say? Yeah, that's word for word true. It
That's
was like
so
a
good.
particularly hot riff we were on.
Yeah, what riff was
I
it?
think it was the Tom Moore episode.
Yeah, she said it was that episode.
So you were just so happy.
It was just a good episode.
I just
You
realized
should have been crying listening to
I
that.
didn't save this to my personal Google Drive. I saved it to the Powerbomb Google Docs. So if
Great.
people go on there, look up the worksheet, get this insane story that starts in the mid. That'll be the point that confuses
Someone will
them the
find
most
that and everyone
as
will be
well.
like, Andy, did you write
Yeah,
this?
I'm just gonna let it stay in there and see if people are like, is Andrew writing fan fiction? And why isn't it starting? Why is it starting in chapter 2? All right, here we go. So, if you guys remember what happened last time, Oogie Boogie came and stole Andrew Hastings' polyamorous partner, Corpse Bride. And just as when he thought they were finished,
Thank
M
you for-
Shadows.
Thank you for the previously on.
Yeah. And I've also learned that it is M Shadows and not M Shadow. But I'm
Yeah.
going to keep calling him M Shadow because that's what he is. It's canon in this story.
It is kind of
Right.
funnier if it's just one.
It also sounds more cool.
M Shadow, yeah.
Yeah.
Like Shadow Moses, the Bring Me the Horizon song.
Yeah. Well, Shadow
Sounds pretty
Moses
cool,
is
right?
based off Metal Gear Solid.
Really?
It's a Metal Gear Solid reference.
Ah.
Wait, what is?
Shadow Moses.
So it was a big Bring Me the Horizon single
So,
about 5 years
yeah,
ago.
Shadow Moses is the name of the operation that Metal Gear Solid, the plot of Metal Gear Solid
Yeah.
is.
The first one?
Yeah. So,
Because
like,
I played the shit out of that.
I'm not
game.
sure if they refer to it as Shadow Moses in Metal Gear Solid, but like in 2 and
It's
4
referred
and 5, they're like,
retrospectively.
they're not in 5 because that's a bit, but it's the Shadow Moses incident and stuff.
Right.
Like,
Yeah.
Okay.
I hate nerds.
anyway, no, you don't. Andrew Hastings, M Shadow, Jack Skellington.
You looked almost annoyed by that.
Jack Skellington and Sinister Gates are on the road looking for clues. Oogie Boogie can't be too far away. I feel it in Jack's bones, Andrew says. Suddenly...
It's a good bit.
Suddenly...
That's funny.
Are you claiming that bit?
yeah. That's a good bit I wrote.
Suddenly... Sinister, M, and Jack all crack up laughing. Fuck, Andrew. As part of one of America's biggest heavy metal bands, I'm famously dour, but your shit always has me losing my mind, says Sinister. Yeah, M adds. You're a very competent comedian. Andrew looks at them cheekily. It's nothing, guys. Just a little riff. M and Shadow stop. Their mouths are agape. You mean you just came up with that off the top of your head? Yeah, says Hastings.
I think this is definitely fan fiction showed up to the very start of this podcast.
Wow, you must be able to do any gig you want, says Sinister. Not all gigs, says a voice in the distance, shrouded in darkness, giggling to himself after he finishes each of his sentences. Jack turns to face the voice. I thought I told you not to come back to Halloween Town. You promised us a thriving room, but then you neglected it till it died. Pat Doherty. Is this getting good for you yet?
Getting good.
Are you hooked on the story?
I'm so psyched to be teaming up with my good friends. Nightmare Before Christmas and Avenged Sevenfold.
Out of the darkness steps a ripped, tall man. Depending on what angle you see his face, he is either the most heavenly sight you've ever seen or the most ghoulish visage known to man. Scampering at his legs on a chain lead is his manservant, Alfie Canuck. Hee, Pat giggles. Oogie told me you might come around these parts looking for Corpse Bride, but what you'll actually find is I'm actually driving the bus. Of your destruction. The sheer force of the Pat Doherty pullback and reveal sends M and Sinister flying backwards. They are knocked out cold. Andrew and Jack hold strong. Pat gleefully starts chucking cards with poorly thought out late night jokes towards them. Jack and Andrew expertly dodge puns about Scott Morrison, but they're pinned back. I knew I should have bought my gat, said Jack. I'm sorry, my dog. It's all good, my best friend Jack Skellington, said Hastings. Besides, I've got something that'll knock him dead. He pulls his sleeves up. I'm going to do the crow bit.
I thought you were going to say butt baby.
No, we did butt baby in the last
That's
chapter.
true, yeah.
Man, imagine if this was anyone's first episode.
Yeah, I loved Game Night. I'll listen to that.
Big fan of the work of Jason Bateman. Fuck me.
Jack looks at Andrew concerned. The crow bit? In a room this small? There's a chance it'll bring the whole place down. Hastings looks at him gravely, seriously. It's our only chance. Let's get competence. Andrew stares up to...
Is that the name of your next album?
Let's get confident.
Andrew stands up to face Pat, who towers over him in
Straight
height.
out of Competence.
Hey, Pat, have you ever seen The Crow? Pat looks at him. He's about to reply when, boom! A large eruption fills the room with sound. Pat looks down. He's been hit by a shotgun. Bits of viscera fall out of him as he collapses to his knees. In the distance we hear, nobody needs to hear the crow bit again. It's Dean Winchester holding a smoking shotgun.
Fuck yeah. Justine? Is it Justine?
Hold on. Andrew perks up. Sam and Dean Winchester, you old dogs. To be continued.
Fuck yes.
If you wanted to go for some historical accuracy there, the greatest opponent of the crow bit was old Rosie P.
Famously against it.
Everyone will come in.
I love, Jamie, that when you write action scenes in fan fiction, you write them as if it's a JRPG.
Yeah.
It's clearly a party battle structure. You're taking turns doing moves.
Yeah.
Yeah, you see the world through Final Fantasy.
Well,
when you
this
look around, do you just see Final Fantasy menus?
Yeah, basically, you're talking right now in a blue text box, and I'm reading it, and it's poorly translated from Japanese.
Yeah.
So I'm not really getting the full experience, but you fucked them maybe, I guess?
Yeah, I reckon out of that, though, your next hour should be called Straight Outta Competent.
Straight
Yeah.
out of competency.
What about straight out of competence?
Particularly because I've noticed this recently where,
Ooh.
people always describe you as this, 28-year-old emo, but...
It's not really the case anymore.
Because you've slowly pivoted into, half emo, half...
Fuck boy.
Well, a kind of hip-hop acolyte.
Yeah. I
Like
do
wearing
love
all the
Benzos.
tri-stripe, the bucket
I
hat.
do love the tri-stripe.
Yeah, but I think it's more of a fuck
And
boy
the way he
bucket hat.
talks, though, yeah, dog.
Yeah, he's been saying hell yeah, brother, for quite a while as well.
Yeah. Immediately 2 weeks before I started listening to Come Down.
yeah. It does actually predate it.
Yeah.
And there's also a ton of shoe polish in his bag now, wherever he goes.
Yeah, because,
Hastings
for the
keep-
outfit.
And I don't know
Yeah.
if you really need to polish up the
Yeah.
Adidas slides.
He keeps saying, let's black up all the time. I don't know what that means.
I don't know why you guys won't do this with me.
What about? Oh man, I can't wait for Powerbomb to dissolve when out on the news it gets spread that we all did blackface in your box and walked around the casino pretending to be various famous black people.
Powerbomb comedy is cancelled. I like the idea. The idea of us all doing blackface makes me laugh a lot because Rose would wear like a big a big woman's afro. Like it would be.
Oh, like a real blaxploitation.
yeah, but like
blaxploitation.
the femme fatale of a blaxploitation movie.
Who's the really famous one? It's Pam Grier, right? The
Yeah.
one who
I
was
think
in
so,
like
yeah.
Jackie Brown.
Yeah, Pam
I
Grier.
think so. Yeah, I want you looking like that at the Bucks, Rose.
Can I aim for like Foxy Cleopatra?
That's
from, like,
fine.
Yeah.
Goldman.
But
Honestly,
you
as long
just
as
have
the-
to be black.
As long as there's a blackface and an afro wig.
That's what. That's Beyonce's character in
Yeah.
Goldmember.
Yeah.
I know who she is. Fine with that.
I know who Beyonce is. Damn.
I feel like we should say that this isn't going to happen.
Or
We'll see.
yeah. Or maybe it will.
Yeah.
Who knows? Have you been, everyone?
Good, man. I had a pretty quiet week. I was gigging in we had a pretty big Friday night.
Remember
Rose.
not to sit too far back in that shed or collapse
But
right
I'm
on
so
you.
cool. I got to sit like a cool guy.
You know, I was devastatingly hungover, but how about this for like a wonderful thing that happened yesterday is I was super hungover and my friend and I went to the beach and we were sitting there and the Streets ice cream boat
Sick.
came.
A boat.
That's
yeah,
rad.
this guy travels around to all the like harbor beaches with a boat with a fucking freezer in it and gives out. Well, doesn't give out. You buy them, but like he's
Yeah.
got ice creams for
Yeah,
sale.
I don't imagine this guy's doing it out of the goodness of his heart.
It was amazing.
That's
Imagine
a
being
sick
able to
job.
just like sit there
That would be
hungover and just eating a Calippo in the
That would
water.
be the best job ever, I reckon. Just
He seems pretty happy.
Just
Being
making
on a
people's
boat.
day.
Being on a boat would be sick.
Yeah, we should get a boat.
A powerbomb boat.
Yeah.
Ooh, that's a good thing for your
A
boat. What if
powerbomb
we got
powerboat?
I thought about it.
What if we got a yacht?
Because you know how it's like for the Saturday day, I reckon.
This is getting. You realize this is just going to end up as like we're running comedy cruises, which
Yes.
we shouldn't be doing.
Yeah, I reckon Friday night we go to the casino. Saturday day we go yacht. Saturday night back to the casino.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
How do you plan to source a yacht?
Google it.
I think you can.
I don't know if you got yacht money.
You can
bro.
definitely rent like houseboats
Yeah, that's
without like a
fine.
boating license because they move so slowly. Because I know people who have done that and like had a jolly good time on the seas.
Squires seems like he could sail. Can't we just put Squires in charge?
Well, because he looks sort of like a captain in your eyes.
And he was wearing the hat he was wearing in Melbourne suited him a lot. He was wearing a sailor hat.
I'm sure I could
He just
steer
has
a
a
boat.
captain vibe.
I could probably steer a boat.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just like driving a car, right?
I
A
can't wait-
big water car.
I can't wait for this to be played in the inevitable lawsuit of our families suing the boat company that rented the boat to it. We
They
can definitely
somehow
drive a boat.
all got chopped up by the propeller.
Yeah, it was the propeller, not all these bloody katanas that we had. I found out that my father-in-law owns a kimono. And I was
Yes.
like, yeah, you got to send me a photo of that shit. But if it's not got a dragon on it, I'm not, you know.
A few weeks ago,
At the
like,
very least,
post-
a tiger.
Yeah, it's got to have like either an exotic animal or a weapon on it, I feel like.
Mm.
You know, I just remembered since we came up with the kimono idea, I had a booty call like from a Tinder person a while, like like in the last couple of weeks, and she came out in a kimono. Like we got back to her, like she put a kimono on.
That's pretty... yeah,
It's
that's
like
pretty-
funny. I think it's more funny than it is, but it wasn't bad. Like,
Was it like, was it kind of like, let me slip into something more comfortable?
Yeah.
Here's my kimono. And then she started doing the voice.
Yeah, well, I mean, I needed that too.
That was your demand.
Yeah.
You're like, all right, if you're going to put that on.
Yeah, but yeah, it was
So
kinda
like,
cool.
what, she just wears a kimono like a 90,
Yeah,
I
like
guess.
a 90 type thing.
But did she, was it like kind of like, I'm going to be sexy for you in my sex kimono?
a little bit?
And well, did you chub up?
I would say
pretty,
50-50.
Did you chub up pretty quick?
I mean, I needed some assistance. No,
Yeah.
no, everything worked fine. Don't worry about me.
This is very vaguely related, but like catching up, like on Wednesday this week, I went and saw one of my favorite bands. It's a band called Parquet Courts, and they
That's a funny way to pronounce Parkway Drive.
That really got me. For some reason. It just took me a second to be like, man, it really could be like a street name thing. Yeah, Parquet Courts.
Yeah,
Yeah, cool. I like
and
that.
the idea of Rose like being like, one of my absolute favorite bands.
Yeah,
Parkway
it's like,
Drive.
Yeah, it's like keeping up appearances.
Let's keep up appearances.
Yeah,
Can we
fucking
put
rules.
Hyacinth in the fanfiction?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a good note.
I want to.
So Rose says Hyacinth in this, and she's like, "I'm just listening to my favorite band, Parquet Court." So you're like, "Man, it's called fucking Parkway Drive.
Parkway Drive,
This
they're
is
from
called
Byron
Carry.
Bay."
This is called Carry On."
That song genuinely slaps.
Yeah, it does. Slap. Yeah, go on, Rose. Sorry, that.
Anyway, I had to
so
write
much.
a review of it to get free tickets, so feel free to read that on the music.com.au. We were having this discussion. Is like that band, like the last album they put out was like they wanted to write this like punk album that you could dance to. So one of the songs is this really like wacky kind of dancey thing,
Like the
that,
Aquabats.
Yeah, that Ellen heard. So Ellen was like. Invited them to
The
play.
Ellen.
The Ellen DeGeneres invited
Ellen
them.
the Greatness.
Invited them to play on.
That's her name in Latin.
Yeah, Ellen DeGeneres. Ellen the
Yeah,
Greatness.
okay.
But she.
What about a new show name for you, Ellen Degenerate?
Jack's already been made.
Has
Yeah,
it
that's,
been made?
that's been
Yeah,
made
yeah.
100 million
But it's just
times
you in
over.
blackface.
Yeah, okay, now we're talking.
Yeah, with a katana. Yeah,
What
keep
about
going.
it? What if it's Alan Deplorable and she's like a MAGA guy?
That's pretty good.
Yeah. Seth Meyers, put me on your show.
Yeah, but they got invited to do that because like Ellen loves dancing, so they did it.
Famously.
The vague connection to that is that they obviously had a bit of fun with it. So one of the guys was wearing a kimono.
Sick.
But
That rules.
here was the debate that apparently is raging on the internet. Is that not punk at all, or heaps punk to do that? Is to go on Ellen and
No,
like,
that's heaps
play.
punk. I think that's
To go on Ellen? Yeah, it's punk
I
as
reckon
fuck.
it was
It's punk
real
as fuck,
punk.
yeah.
Because they're just like, let's go
That's
on and
like
have
some-
fun with this.
That's like something one of those chaser boys would do, or their American equivalent, Jackass.
Their love of pranks and stunts.
The Swedish equivalent.
Yeah,
the
who would fucking say that it's not punk? Like, what kind of loser would...
Because the people who are
Johnny
just like,
Rotten, that's it.
Yeah.
because it's all the people who are like, Ellen's lame. Like you can't associate yourself.
Yeah,
with
but I
that.
mean,
but like,
True, but like, why not go
and
on
because
TV
it's
and
so like
fucking...
because it's such a mainstream thing, and it like pushed them into like a bigger audience. But also like, so many of the people who watch Ellen would have hated it.
Yeah, and they would... And
The
they...
machine assigned to Sony. Who gives a shit?
Yeah, they wouldn't have cared anyway. Shit, I was oh god, he's doing it, and Andy's taking a shirt off.
There's aircon in here. This isn't like
He's,
my house.
yeah,
where
but he's
it's a
doing
sauna.
it now because he feels like it's good luck or something.
It's like it's sort of.
Have you listened to the podcast? It's bad
ritual.
luck.
It's like how.
Have you listened to the podcast? It's bad. There, you could finish the sentence.
Yeah.
It's
one
like
word
how
early.
it's like how an athlete's mindset changes when they put the uniform on.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you take the clothes, then the panties come off.
Yeah.
Off.
Yeah.
Um,
'Cause
You
we
wearing panties
can't
right now?
take out
yeah,
clothes
we're all wearing
off.
panties.
Panties has become the new moist on the internet.
Do people not like the word panties?
People hate
anymore?
it.
Yeah, I'm not
It's
into it.
become the new moist.
What do you call them?
Imagine saying
Not even
moist
there.
panties. They'd freak
What
out.
do I call them? Already off. That's what I call them.
What do I call them? Around your knee.
What do you hate more, panties or knickers?
Knickers is very desexualized, so I almost prefer knickers.
And knickers is very close to a word that Andrew loves.
yeah, he says that a lot.
So he's always like, Yvette, put on your knickers. She's like, what are you talking
Sorry,
about?
what?
I was talking about this the other day.
I said the N word the other day.
When you, both of you, go out on dates, this is probably more for Rose than it is for you because you're just a scab. You're not like a natural smoker.
Yeah.
Do you pretend that you don't smoke? Like no matter,
I
like,
follow their lead.
yeah, right.
I'll often pretend to be a smoker on a date.
Yeah, right. But like, because I used to go on a lot of dates where they were non-smokers, but they wouldn't, say don't be a smoker in their bio. But like, I'd go more often than not with them, but not pull them out and not make it obvious that I had them.
Yeah. No, I think I follow their lead. So like, if they don't smoke, I definitely don't have a cigarette on the date. But that's easy for me because I'm not a proper smoker. I am a half relapse smoker. But
See, in the Easy Way to Stop Smoking book, that kind of smoker is described as the most pathetic smoker of all.
That's appeal to be number one, King.
I still got it, baby.
I like that you're like most pathetic.
Yeah, dog.
Yeah, that's cool.
sick. I've never been the most anything.
Yeah, that rules. Yeah, what about you, Rose?
I'm not done.
Okay,
So
fuck.
then, but also if they're
Is this gonna Is this going to devolve into some kind of performative woke
No,
thing?
God, no.
It's
Okay.
also going to end up with him saying that he fucked someone.
It's
probably.
it's just.
Then I smoked their pussy.
It's just a clear example.
Yeah, and
of
I wait
what
until
a
we fucked, and then I smoke after sex.
It's just an example of what a pathetic smoker I am. If they're smoking, I'll like, oh yeah, I got to go buy a pack, and I'll smoke.
Ah, you son of a bitch.
Or like I'll scab a couple off there, like, but I'll be like more like, yeah, no, we'll go out for a day. Like, whereas I just have one when I feel like one when we're hanging.
For me, the vast majority of people I've dated have either not smoked or are like very occasional. Like if they get a few drinks, then they're like, "Oh, can I have one?"
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
But the last person I like properly dated was
That's how I
like
feel about sucking dick.
the last.
Had a few drinks. Ooh, I could.
The last person I properly dated, she hated it, so I just wouldn't do it on days where I was going to see her because she reckoned that like even if I smoked in the morning, she could like taste it at night on my breath.
She's a filthy liar.
Yeah.
But
But I generally just do it and think like, look, at present, I do this, so
yeah,
cop it or don't.
I used to.
I know it's bad, but like,
Well, I used to when I was on the Tinder. I used to like pretend I didn't, and I know that like. You kind of like smoking a lot when sometimes you leave a date where like the chemistry is, let's say, like just a little below 50%.
Yeah.
And you make up an excuse so you can go drink and have a cigarette somewhere else.
Yeah,
It's like, I
yeah.
value the cigarette more than the date.
Oh yeah.
But I also had this one.
I do that, but like marijuana.
Yeah. I also
If I
had.
got weed at home, I'm way more likely to not have sex with that person.
Yeah. Because like, also, like sometimes you get the unicorn where like the person smokes before you and you're just like, yes.
Do you know what the
And then you
unicorn
go
is?
for it.
This is like I'm not. This isn't like a man. I love weed so much bit. Best thing ever is on at the end of a Tinder, you back to theirs, and they're like a bong on. Like they're a. You find out they're a stoner.
I don't
Fucking
think
rules.
I don't think I've ever had that.
It's like
I've had it so many times. It's
Yeah.
when you get there and then it's like, oh, do you smoke? Oh, do you smoke? Oh, thank God.
Yeah.
Okay, let's relax.
I would be.
I
rules.
also comparatively have not really done that much dating because I've had like really long-term relationships and like often
I've been on a lot of dates.
often the
Yeah.
often
I
the
went on quite a
sex
few.
I've had has just been like circumstantial and there hasn't really been a date involved.
I've run a lot
I
of
can
dates.
imagine most of the rooms that you go back to, it's like a milk crate
Yeah.
with a copy of Infinite Jest where the bookmark's in the first chapter and
Yeah.
then the bong's on top of that.
Yeah, a lot of that.
Yeah.
There was the time I hooked up with a girl who was
That'd be more likely if he was going back and fucking dudes though.
Yeah, maybe.
Yvette tells a lot of stories of like Infinite Jest. and
What's the
bong.
chick Infinite Jest then?
Ooh, probably still Infinite Jest.
Yeah?
Because that's like a kind of like reductress thing is like guys pushing infinite
What's
jest
that?
on you.
What's that poet that all that all
Pablo
those
Neruda.
chicks love? No, it's a more modern. It's a woman.
Emily
Oh,
Dickinson?
that Rupi Kaur.
Yeah. She's great for the record. I think like I don't love a lot of poetry, but I think she's great. But like, yeah, I've seen that on a lot of girls as like walls and bookshelves
And Instagram
bedside
stories.
tables. Yeah, I've seen a lot of that sort of shit.
Yeah. I had one where like I wasn't really a date. I was moving house. So I'd spent all day moving. We did not get movers, which is a terrible idea. It took like 8 hours because we had to go from 3 different places.
Yeah.
And
I think the rule should be you should live with your parents until you can afford movers.
yeah, probably.
Yeah,
But
Well,
like
but
we
I
they're
didn't.
not that expensive.
We
We
didn't
probably-
have movers. Like one of the people I moved in with borrowed a big old van from
that
a
still
family friend,
sucks.
and
Yeah.
we just
Still got to lift it. The driving's not the hard part.
we
We
thought it
were
would just
fine.
be a fun old day, but then we were like
It
on the top
sucks.
floor of the building. By the end of it, we hated it. But this girl like was messaging me all day on Tinder, being like, "Oh my god, what are you doing today?" And I was like, "I'm actually moving house." She was like, "Oh great!" Like she basically first date, like we'd never seen each other before, but she was inviting herself around to the house. She was like, "I'd love to come see it," and she was like, "I'll bring champagne." And I was like, "Well, look, like." It's just like a mattress on the floor surrounded by boxes, and there are boxes in all the living room. It's just me and my housemate, and she was like, "Yeah, fucking mattress on the floor." That
Maybe
sounds-
she gets into an empty house.
Well, yeah, it sounds great, and like I was like, "Fuck!" Like she's not only she invited herself around, like bringing alcohol,
Yeah.
but she's like already like mentioned the idea that I don't know.
It was my leg against the
Yeah.
chair.
Right.
She's already mentioned the idea that she might want to stay over
Yeah, right.
on the mattress. So I was like, hell, I'm going to get...
I like that your wife's out at the shop, so you're telling fucking stories.
I can tell this fucking story anytime I please, unless she comes back.
Just come and quickly wrap it up.
Oh, shit. So I was like, fuck it.
So I was nailing Amy. Amy, do you want to come and have a say?
Yeah, and she had the
And it
biggest...
was my wedding night.
yeah. Yeah, so I was like, shit, sure thing. And so, like, obviously, because we were running up and down stairs all day, we'd barely had, like, one cigarette. Because it would have fucking puffed us out. But, like, as soon as, like, we sat down, we had this huge balcony. All three of the, like, people in the house smoked. So we just started, like, smoking. This girl came over. She was, like, very...
Presumably immediately repulsed.
Well, she was very enthusiastic at first, and then, like, saw me pull out a cigarette, kind of, like, got a little more standoffish, but not... I'd drunk, like, champagne and beer by that point, not enough for me to, like, be like, oh, fuck, is something wrong?
Yeah.
Like, so we're just talking. I'm not, like... Because I've got my two roommates there, we're just, like, chatting about, like, the move and stuff, and we're not, like, getting heavy into, like, hey, we're gonna fuck later or some bullshit like that. And so, like, the day goes on, and eventually she's like, oh,
Yeah, you're only on to step 3 of the 7-point plan.
yeah. Well, but then she's like, "Oh, I'm gonna go," and I was like, "Oh, I thought she was staying, whatever." But so I was like, "Oh, I'll go down and order a cab for you." This is like Uber.
Yeah.
Like,
Old man
thanks,
Kirk.
that'd be nice. Do that, order the cab, and then say bye. Try to like hug her at least. Doesn't want a bar of it,
Yeah.
and then like text me immediately when she's in the cab, being like, "You didn't tell me you're a smoker," and I was like, fuck, how do I save this? How do I get the cab to turn around, bring her back, and her be like, I'm horny again? So
how'd you do it?
so I just go to I said, oh, I only really smoke when I drink.
Yeah.
Pretty good. Because like, people do that.
Plausible.
Like they don't
Yeah.
know. And then she texts back, let me guess. You drink a lot, don't you? And I was just like, damn, bitch, you got me there. Fair play, you win.
Yeah, sick.
Welcome to We'll Just Tell Your Mother We Ate It All podcast about teen sex comedies.
Yeah.
This
And you just heard a story about Jamie playing the game.
Yeah.
Maybe we need to change that to a podcast that was originally about teen sex comedies.
Yeah.
now just kind of about nothing, but
Kind of about-
sometimes we watch movies and hate it.
Yeah. I didn't hate this week.
I just like
What
the
is game night, Jamie?
game night is where we all sit down and read the game.
No, I mean
Yeah.
every night's game night for
Yeah.
you.
Yes.
It's game day.
So we're doing game night.
Yeah, we're
this
doing
week.
the movie Game Night. Oh, fuck, I just had it there. It's a 2018 American black comedy mystery directed by John Francis Daly, who
Cool.
is the guy from Freaks and Geeks, the little
Yeah.
boy, and written by
Which
Mark
guy?
Perez. He's the main nerd guy.
Which one's the main nerd guy?
The little boy who wears the powder blue suit
He's in
the jumpsuit.
He's in Waiting.
and Bones. Yeah, he's a guy from Waiting.
Oh, right. Yeah, that guy. Yeah.
It stars Jason Bateman and Rachel McAdams. Follows a group of friends whose game night turns into a real-life mystery after one of them is kidnapped by apparent burglars.
Also, you're Jamie Kirk, I'm Rose Piper, and the other one is Andrew Hastings.
That's correct.
Yeah.
Andy, sorry.
You guys
Andrew.
watched this movie before?
I had not.
I had not, but I'd heard good things.
I'd never really heard anything about it, but I think we watched this based on the fact that you said, I actually enjoyed it.
Yeah. I watched it on a plane on the way back from my honeymoon, and I thought it was very funny.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
And I
It
watched...
seems like the movie you'd put on a plane.
Yeah. But I watched it again today, and I was like, oh, yeah, it's still quite funny.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
believe that. Yeah.
Now we've got that out of the way. Let's go back to talk about smoking and dating and stuff.
Yeah. I
Now,
want
let's talk about games and shit, man. Like, it may come as a surprise to listeners of the podcast, but me, the fuddy-duddy,
I don't know
who gets
like
upset
four
by
how
games.
stuff.
people perceive you. Your idea of self-perception is odd. Anyway, let's go on.
No, I
No,
would
but
say
I'm-
fuddy
I
duddy.
think we're all fuddy-duddies. I don't think...
I'm the fuddy-duddy
I
of the
think Rose
podcast.
is calling
like,
herself like the party pooper.
yeah, I'm the...
right, okay. I
I'm
thought
the
you
w-
meant like goofy idiot.
No,
I
the
was
wet-
like,
No,
that's a-
fuddy duddy's not a goofy idiot.
Yeah, that's
Is
like
it
a,
not?
it's
No.
like a wet blanket.
Yeah.
Oh, then yeah, it's you. Yeah.
Yeah.
Your self-perception is bang on.
Yeah, so me, the wet blanket, love a bloody board game.
My
love
favorite
a
thing,
board
I
game.
was watching this, just reminded of the time that like Hastings was very enthused to play Ticket to Ride, which is a game where you build train routes, and he wanted to play it with Chris and Jen.
Yeah.
But he could not describe playing the game without a sentence later being like, yeah, do a bit of coke, play with a board game. And I was like, they don't go hand in hand. Like, it's not, game night doesn't involve like putting coke on the board game and doing coke.
So
most people just play the game.
So what happened?
We once got a bit stoned to play a game of Boulder Dash once.
Oh yeah.
Which one's Boulder Dash?
It's the one you lie and
so Andrew Hastings on a date.
it's great to play with friends because you
Clean
can
test, baby.
Yeah, I've got some.
you can get real in jokey with it though. It's very good.
Never heard of her.
Tom Sanderson, don't really know him.
Yeah, that one has come up.
Tom Sanderson sounds like a bad dude.
No, I hate that guy.
So Park tonight?
Jesus. No good. Yeah. So what happened was I played Ticket to Ride with Chris and Jen, Chris Keary and Jen Cannavale for you Sydney comedy fans out there. I did have that night. It was a really fun night. So me and Yvette went and bought our own copy of it, played it on New Year's for the first time. And the idea was we would do cocaine while we were playing it. Got 3 moves in and we were like, let's just do cocaine.
Yeah, of course. I've just come up with a new life goal for you.
Yeah.
You should have sex in the Red Rock Amphitheater in Denver, Colorado.
Why? What's the...
It's just that huge, like, natural amphitheater. Have you heard of it? They put on, like...
There's countless shitty bands have DVDs like live at Red Rocks. Like a band that would play, that would be like Incubus.
U2,
Oh,
maybe.
okay. Yep.
But it's
Alright.
like this beautiful, huge outdoor area, and you should fuck in it. It's a public space.
I don't really like
Especially fucking it while listening to Incubus.
Yeah. Make yourself, Doug.
What has it song? Whatever
The tomorrow.
Yeah, I don't really like fucking in public. I just do it out of, necessity.
Yeah, but this is a life goal for you now. Add it to the list.
Okay, I'll chuck it on the list. That includes learn to drive.
Now this
Do cocaine.
This is
more.
something
I
that
don't do much coke. I rarely do coke. It's just fun.
this is something that I probably should have had some sort of prep for, but maybe we can just nut it out. Is like, let's say we have
Do you
to
want
make
this one or do you want...
It's a juicy lob. You can take it.
too easy.
It's too easy.
Yeah, but
Too
like if
easy.
it comes from me, people expect it to come from you.
Yeah, okay.
But nutting it out.
Nutting
is
it
what-
out is what's-
Yeah, okay, yeah. All right. Do you want to go? Do you want to rock, paper, scissors for it?
Why don't we let them fill it in themselves?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Listener, write in with your best way that you would have tagged that.
Nut it out. You
Nutting it out
mean
is what you would have
blank.
called what? Now,
Yeah.
tweet at one of us.
Yeah.
yeah.
Please continue, Rose.
Yeah. Nut it out.
But I like when we get huge inevitably, and we
Yeah.
get
Yeah,
all
with content like this, how could we...
I assumed you meant when we start going to the gym and getting on the protein powder.
no, when we get really fat.
Yeah.
When we get big, we're obviously going to have like tons of different types of merchandising opportunities, and one of them will inevitably be we'll just tell your mother we added a board game.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
What is the board game? Like,
I think
how
it's
do
got
we-
to involve drinking of some sort, right?
It's
I mean,
chess,
that'll-
but you
that'll
have to win it
definitely
in
be.
4 moves.
It's what do you mean by fuck Jerry, except with our faces on it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like a guess.
It should
so-
definitely be like some sort of like drinking variation. Also, like to lean into like the Hastings of it all. Like obviously we all have our own elements, but like with like whatever you'd call them, like the chance cards, there should be some element that makes it like flirty where you could hook up with someone.
Yeah. So
Because
it's like
we
a-
want to like as a teen sex
It's like
comedy.
a swingers board game.
Yeah, it's a teen sex comedy thing. We want people to fuck as a result
Yeah,
of our
spin the
board.
bottle
Yeah.
would have to be a huge
Spin
component.
the yeah,
That's
of
gonna be a big
course,
part of
spin the
game.
bottle. Maybe like
That's how you land on
Yeah.
the thing is you got to spin the bottle
Yeah,
in the
7
middle.
minutes in heaven.
Yeah.
So yeah, that'd be a drinking aspect, I reckon.
Yeah.
Like maybe like each move you take a sip of your drink or something, or maybe the drinking game rules are just consistently drink throughout the game.
Yeah.
and listen to our podcast.
Yeah.
No, so I like the idea of a board
Speaking
game.
of consistently drinking.
Yeah, nice. What if it was a board game and like you got like sort of like a like it was a game of life type game, but you go through and it's like a mixture of weird Sydney open mic in jokes.
That's true. That would
there's
have to be a big
obviously teen
component.
sex component. No, that was no, I think that was 5. Yeah,
Okay, we're just doing
There's
some
beer ad.
we're just doing some beer admin.
Yeah, I don't know. There's a few different board games. What's your favorite board game? And let's turn that into. We'll just tell your mother canon.
Well, I love Balderdash. Balderdash is great.
Let's go a better known one. What about
What give us something to pick from? Like obviously,
Chess.
Monopoly is very big. Game of Life is big.
Pictionary is good.
But that would just be like people drawing pictures of dicks.
Yeah, well, that's what I like.
Sounds like a great night.
I think it's called Taboo, where it incorporates.
Taboo is good.
Is that the one where it incorporates like Pictionary and clay making?
No. Taboo is the same as Articulate.
Yeah, Taboo is where you can't
There's one where you
say.
get Play-Doh though.
That's a version of Pictionary that has a different name. I can't remember.
Yeah,
I know.
there's one that does like, I think it's kind of like Articulate, where it's got like Pictionary, like plaster building and act outs.
Yeah, right.
That'd be cool.
That's too much. That's
What
too
I-
involved.
what I like-
And then everyone would just be making plaster dicks.
Yeah,
Yeah, well, I used to do that all the time.
yeah.
What I like is the idea that. Oh fuck! I wasn't talking into the microphone the entire time. No, like for that 2 minutes while I was back.
All right.
What I
Oh
like,
no! Like, will it be picked up?
yeah, it'll be picked up easy.
Okay.
What I like is the concept that never kind of really spilled over into real life, but is like a thing from 90s sitcoms. Is that Twister is an inherently sexy adult game where people are like, let's fucking play Twister.
Oh, yeah.
Right hand Hastings dick.
Yeah.
This is well trodden territory. Like
Um,
James Acaster has a very long bit about flirty Twister.
All right.
Also,
what other good bits are there?
This is
I love Norm's identification bit.
this is a comedy related trivia thing in the beer cap.
Oh yeah, hit me, baby.
Which famous comic's gravestone
Andrew
reads
Hastings.
"I told you I was ill"?
Oh, that's a British guy.
Mm-hmm.
Going to be the cunt from Monty Python.
No,
Is it? It's not Peter Sellers, is it?
no.
Yeah, the cunt from Monty Python.
Peter Sellers isn't
he's
in
not
Monty
from
Python,
Monty
you dumb
Python.
cunt.
No, the joke there I was going to do is whatever British comedian.
Yeah,
you
the
said, I
cunt
was
from
gonna say
Monty
the cunt from
Python.
Monty Python.
Right.
Yeah, that's very
You
good.
guys called it too early.
Monty Python's good.
Monty Python are great. I just
Peter Sellers is also very good.
British comedy. Sure.
Yeah, not a fan.
Some of it's all right.
No,
But would you play Twister?
No guess.
Mark Normand.
Who?
Modern New York comedian.
Yeah.
Colin Quinn.
Spike Milligan is
yeah.
I used to love that dude's
Yeah.
World War II books.
I love that shit he did when he was in Monty Python.
Yeah, that shit ruled. Where he dressed up like a woman and had bad teeth or something.
Yeah, it's
That's
Yeah.
the footy show.
I love that Monty Python show, Little Britain.
Yeah. Did you ever fuck with Twister?
Yeah, I've played a game or two. I used to. We
Dude, you ever gotten hard while playing Twister? No.
We,
Dude, you ever gone
we
hard?
used to play a game.
Hastings' mouth blue ×2.
We used to do this thing. We'd go, a bunch of my friends when I was like 19. We'd all go away to like a holiday house one of us had,
We'd suck, we'd fuck.
and so we'd make variations of games. But
Sorry, that's just peak podcast. You should say that more. Yeah, we'd suck, we'd fuck.
suck. Oh, I'll do a bit of sucking and fucking.
Oh man, I
you
got
know-
the feeling that this is one of those bad episodes that I think I'm like, well, we had a lot of fun.
you know, like the phrase Netflix and chill.
Yeah.
What if it was like suck and fuck and nip tuck?
Can you do that with other shows? Like,
Yeah, okay.
for a homosexual couple, maybe like some Gay Anatomy and Grey's Anatomy.
Yeah. 6 feet under and 6 inches deep.
I like that one.
6 feet under is a great show. Did you ever watch it? You get into that, I reckon.
No, my wife loves it.
It's great.
What about Bones and Bones?
Yeah, that's a good one.
Bones and boners.
Yeah. BoJack Horseman and
Jack
Oh, I don't know. I think
Jack this horse cock, man. What about
Also on the bonus thing, I was watching Scrubs the other day because they just put it on
Scrubs and
Stan.
Nubs?
yeah, I've been watching Scrubs.
But they there's a joke where like JD reminds people, and this is insane, that on that show Growing Pains there was actually a character called Boner.
Yeah.
That's really funny.
Like, how did no one be like, yeah, this is fine for this family show?
Well, I think back
What?
then boner really meant like to pull a boner, like make a mistake.
Well,
Yeah, it's still funny. Though.
Yeah, it's hilarious.
Apparently, his name has the word bone in it, which is why his name's Boner.
Ah, that's cool.
Yeah.
What about the OC and the Blow Me?
Last night I actually asked a girl back to like, she was like, I was like, do you want to come over to smoke some weed,
See
watch
my
some Scrubs?
boner?
No, I was like,
No.
come watch Scrubs and smoke weed. And she was like, no.
Swing and a miss.
And then she deleted our
No,
conversation.
then I left the party and Yvette stayed at the party and she made out with Yvette.
Yeah. Well, you know, sometimes when you do something, you end up among the stars.
Hey,
you know?
when God opens a window,
You fuck the window.
dress for the job you want, not the
Pussy you have.
yeah.
Should we talk about the movie a little bit before
Yeah,
we...
okay.
Yes.
I like the gag with the glass table.
I think it's all very good.
Yeah, that's very funny, though. I
Yeah.
think they acting weird today.
Yeah, the dude
That's
from
very
New
funny.
Girl, he's very funny.
He's
in it.
great in it.
Which is the guy from New Girl?
the black guy.
dude.
Right, yeah. That's a really good Denzel Washington impression.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think Billy Magnuson is really funny in this as well.
Which one's he?
The dumb guy.
Oh, yeah.
What else
he's
is
great.
he in? Because I really didn't
I
know.
don't really know what else he's
I didn't
in.
know who these people were except for like Chelsea Peretti and then Jason Bateman.
What
and
about
Rachel
Sharon
McAdams.
Horgan?
Is she in that Rob Delaney
Yeah,
thing?
yeah.
Right.
She's
yeah.
a major babe, I reckon. She's got that Irish accent.
You know, I had to
Bit
check
of
to
an
make
older
sure that
lady.
that cop wasn't Matt Damon.
Oh, yeah. A lot of people have had that thing with Jesse
Yeah.
Plemons and Matt Damon.
Isn't it?
I
Wasn't
was like,
wasn't
is he
the
doing
thing
like
is
this-
because he plays that character on Breaking Bad? They call him Meth Damon.
Yeah, but he's
Ah,
always
that's
looked
funny.
like that, like leading back to his
Yeah.
like Friday Night Lights days, which
Yeah.
fucking rules.
He looks like Matt Damon doing some like fucked comedy character acting.
There's another one.
He looks kind of like Matt Damon in The Informant.
You mean The Departed?
Apparently,
No, is that your other bit as well? I'm like, I love Matt Damon in The Bourne Ultimatum, and you're like,
if Matt Damon's in a movie called The Informant, that's quite funny. That The Departed is about him playing an
yes,
informant.
very good.
Also, it's the same bit as the Monty Python bit.
Yes.
Paul F. Tompkins is in that bit. There's a framed poster of him just over on the wall. there.
That's right. Pay respects.
Um,
Face to
can we
towards
take a
Matt
photo, the selfie around that, so people think that we had professional podcaster Paul F. Tompkins on the
Damon.
podcast?
Absolutely, we
Alright,
can.
Someone do
Great.
it. Can you do a Paul F. Tompkins impression?
Oh,
Okay, save it,
no, hang
and
on,
then when
no,
you do, break it out and break it out later to make it sound like we got.
Yeah,
PFT
and then
on
we
the
can
pod.
be like, hey, Paul.
Yeah, so you got to improv it, Rose. I know.
no.
you
um,
Here, I'll write the script now.
know.
Yeah, I thought it was. I think it's a funny movie. I mean, fucking Rachel McAdams is so good in it.
The twists were all
she's a
very
great
good.
actress.
There was a good 5 minutes where I was like, oh, I don't know if it's real or not. Like that was kind of cool. Like
Dexter's really cool in it as
Dexter's
well.
great in it. He's great in 6 Feet Under.
My other.
So after this, you want to come over in 6 Feet Under and 6 inches deep?
Yes.
Oh
I'll
yeah,
bring
he's
the
in that.
beers.
Hey.
You bring the condoms.
Yes, he plays a homosexual man.
Yeah,
He's
he
one of the
does.
main
Isn't there
characters.
one where, like, in a 6 Feet Under episode, like he gets like a hitchhiker, like force
Yeah,
him
that's
to
like a
blow
big
him and
spoiler
shit?
for anyone who hasn't seen it. But yeah, there's like a whole episode that's like really out of nowhere and really dark. Where he,
Is
picks
it
up a
like
hitchhiker.
good? I've heard like it was split.
It's really fucked up. Like it's weirdly out of tone for the show, but I quite liked it.
Hmm.
And it made like it needed to be fucked up for it to do what it did in that character arc.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Here's another joke I like from that movie, which is kind of like of the same ilk of the glass table. The pallet box to crush the henchman.
Oh,
And it
yeah,
just
that's
moves
funny.
really slowly, and he looks at it.
There's a real hard like fourth wall Jason Bateman mugging to camera just before that where he does the charade where he goes, "Oh, charades, how fucking cute," and like he mentioned that wraps everything up nicely.
The removing the bullet scene with all the
Yeah,
it's very funny
Mm.
too.
Yeah, they check and it's
Yeah, the exit wound.
That's very funny. That's such like a Hollywood comedy joke, but they pull it off really well.
Yeah,
Like,
and Rachel McAdams like waving around the gun, singing Third Eye
Yeah,
Blind,
yeah,
which
yeah.
is
that
how
was
you
great.
can link this movie to our oeuvre of podcasts, being like, it's got fucking Third Eye Blind in it, Team Sex Podcast, whatever.
I assumed that we decided it was as, like applicable just because it's the kind of movie you probably would have watched at a sleepover as a teenager.
I decided it was applicable because I liked it. and it was the
I
first
didn't
thing
wanna
I
watch another shitty
yeah,
movie.
and I saw it on Netflix, and I wanted to see if you guys would like it too.
Man, I love that podcasting has just no regulation. Like we're just
Yeah, isn't
in
it?
no way
There's
held
no
accountable.
quality
there's
control.
there's no way for us to be held accountable.
Like
for our
one of us
actions
could
here.
get up and take a shit for 5 minutes.
That happened in Upside Little Dum Dum Club.
And it did?
Yeah.
See, this is like, and like with podcasts, it's like The
Yeah, it was
Simpsons.
you who did it.
With The Simpsons.
No, like as in it was a wireless
Yeah.
mic. He took the mic.
I've never
Right.
taken
during
a
a
shit.
live during
I've
a
never
live
taken a
episode.
shit during
Right.
an episode of this. I'm a long shitter, dog. I'd be in there for a while.
Rose Piper's the longest shit I've ever met.
Really?
Yeah.
I'm a pretty long shitter.
Yeah, before when we were in Adelaide, like 5 years ago or something, it was like every day. It was like it's been 4 minutes.
You couldn't judge me based on my comedy festival.
We weren't
shit.
saying Rose at that stage, but
Yeah.
it was.
But you can't judge me on my comedy festival
Remarkably
because I'm
patient.
probably also busting one.
Oh
on there.
yeah, comedy. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, this is what's fun.
Well, when I stayed in the when I was
What's
the
fucked
year
about busting one?
the year after, I'm willing to throw him under the bus, and that's an impression I can do. Is when the year after in Adelaide when I stayed in like a little motel thing with Dan Muggleton.
The dream.
Yeah, he was telling me
Dream,
like
believe, achieve.
he was telling me while we were down there, he's just like, yeah, I have to masturbate every day, and I'm like,
have to.
he just said that he had to
It's
do
like
it.
the numbers from Lost if you don't input them.
He just said that he had to do it, and I'm like, so you've been jerking off like while we're in there? He's like, yeah. I'm like, when? Like,
Yeah.
are you doing it while like we're asleep in beds next to each
So
other?
just
or-
by a weird coincidence, the times we've gone away for festivals together, once you stopped, Jamie started coming. So I've stayed with festival stuff for you like I think 3 times now.
Yeah.
Every time I at least try and keep my masturbating on the down low. you like go, so guys, gotta go masturbate.
Well, you know, it's kind of
the
like
wife's not there anymore.
But it's also
you
kind
gotta-
of like if you call attention to it first, no one will be like, "What are you jerking off in there?" Like, you
Yeah.
know. You
But
just
I reckon if you're in a communal thing,
I'm definitely not aware of the phenomenon of pointing out your own flaws before someone else
yeah,
does.
dickhead. Like,
but I reckon.
Can I
it-
see my hat?
oh, can we talk about the fucking roasting you received on Friday?
but hang on, I reckon you.
Yes, we can, but yeah.
I reckon if you're in a communal thing like that, you've got to like either like do it in the shower or something. Or
No,
just,
I
like,
beat off into the toilet.
Yeah, but you got to make it like unknown. You can't just be like in there with everyone and be like, well, like you got to do it. Like
you gotta save face.
yeah, you can't be.
But I
picked
want
to be
people to
doing
know that I'm beating off because that gets me even harder.
Well, then,
knowing
then
knowing
yes.
that they're
Knowing
all in the
people have
lounge
got a
room.
glass up next
Yeah.
to the door. Like.
There's nothing that
by
makes me
that
trying to
logic,
listen to you
yes, you're
grunt.
doing it the right way.
There's nothing that makes me come quicker than knowing Andrew Hastings is in a room, knowing that I'm doing
Yeah.
a sexual act.
I'm trying to focus on Tekken, but I can't.
Yeah,
because-
you can't beat Jamie Juono at Tekken because all you're thinking about is me pounding my hog.
I had my own bedroom for
so
Melbourne
what-
this year. It was pretty
So what did I just interrupt?
I don't know, roasting last year.
Oh yeah,
last
roasting.
Friday. I mean, I had Tom Walker roasting me at Powerbomb.
Yeah. So
I didn't know about this.
I think that Tom Walker might have done this on purpose. the more they-
Afterwards, I spoke to him and I was like, I'm pretty sure it was your shit that fucked up, and he was like, definitely.
Oh no, he because I've copped that heaps. He does it on purpose. He makes it really hard, and then anything that fucks up is almost entirely his fault. But he just blames it on the tech person because it's a funny
It's so-
thing.
I've
copped it about 5 times.
Jamie, you were watching. You explain what happened.
Yeah.
You're involved. You're in
Yeah,
the
I
story.
was involved. So, like, of course, I thought about this prior to the event. I was like, we got to make it so Hastings is on sound when Walker's on. Because chances are something will fuck up, whether it's Hastings' fault or Tom's. But Tom will go off at Hastings, and that is...
And that has proven to be very.
It's proven to be very success. People, like, see Hastings at the show. A lot of people know him from being, like, regular people that come there. So people know that it's... like, making fun of Hastings
Look,
equals
just say I'm a
results.
celebrity and be done with it. Just say.
Sure.
Local celebrity Andrew Hastings.
Okay. But yeah, Walker just like immediately like the first sound cue fucked up. And so Walker's just calling Hastings like an idiot. He called you like a black shirt with nothing. He just called you an empty black shirt. And
I
then,
think I've heard that one before.
Yeah.
and then I went to fix the sound, and Tom Walker goes, "Yes, Jamie, go over and help your idiot friend."
Then while you were doing it, which as we found was not our fault.
Yeah, it was
he
fucking
made
fine.
me stand up on stage next to him so he could point out everything wrong with me.
He made fun of the bucket hat,
Made
his
fun of the
body
Slipknot
shirt,
shirt.
his Slipknot shirt. Got an applause break for doing so. Sent Hastings off, and then just to
You're a
add,
villain.
and then just add one more little knife wound in. Hastings walks off to an applause break and uproarious laughter. Tom finishes by going, "See, Hastings, that's what killing feels like."
Brutal.
Oh
Brutal
no.
stuff. Yeah. I was trying to remember that feeling while I was at Mariong Brew House last night.
We just got a message to Everly Comedy asking how to cancel tickets in case the show is at capacity. Just like you just want to write back ha 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 ha. Oh sweetie, it won't be at capacity.
This won't be a problem.
Ben Conscience just wrote to me, the only thing that will be at capacity is my dick when I'm stooping you halfway through tepid banter. Bit off brand for Ben
didn't
Conscience.
say that to the person.
No, yeah, that's what he said to the person.
So he said it
The
to
only
you.
thing that will be at capacity is my dick.
Oh, man. Ben Conscience has been hanging out with Andy Hastings too much. Who's on it, Everly, tonight?
Tom
This
Walker.
is definitely not good pod
But yeah,
content.
yeah, we've got to move away from that.
I might come hang.
Yeah, that's fine. Anything else about the movie? We're like creeping up to 50 minutes.
I don't know what else happened in it.
A lot of good stuff.
I like the credits where it had like the...
That was great.
The credits
And
were
at the
sick.
end, like at the very end of the credits, it's just Jesse Plemons and that fucking dog staring at the camera.
Oh yeah, I saw that.
Jesse Plemons is great in this movie.
Yeah.
Like, he's so funny.
That's what I was going to say before. Is the other person he gets told that he looks like is Philip Seymour Hoffman,
Oh, yeah.
and I think
I see that.
And I think apparently he's been in a movie with Matt Damon and one with PSH, and he might have even been a relative of them in each movie.
Oh, maybe.
Yeah, it makes sense. I mean, you get two albinos in the same movie.
They did a good job of making him look real fucked and creepy though, because he doesn't actually look so.
Yeah, I
grubby.
think like the reason he looks like a little like you can differentiate him from Matt Damon is he's got like quite obvious acne scars on his face.
Yeah.
But like he does probably my favorite like weird throwaway line in the film where he notices that they have like 3 packets of those Scoops chips and they're like 3 for 1. He goes, must not be very profitable for Frito-Lay.
Yeah, that was very
that's
funny.
such a weird, dumb detail.
Frito-Lay.
Yeah.
That's very funny.
It's like because
It was good foreshadowing though, is to like make
Yeah.
this neighbor look like a creep who's clearly like.
yeah. The
He's
one thing,
great.
like, it ended up being like pretty successful at the box office. But I was looking at some of the posters for marketing, and it leaned very heavily on like from the guys who bought you Horrible Bosses. And I was like,
bad.
it's not great.
I remember quite enjoying Horrible
I
Bosses.
think there are parts of it that are good, but I was like, oh man, if you're going with that, like Game Night is way better than Horrible Bosses.
The best part of Horrible Bosses
is getting
is that
hard seeing Jennifer Aniston do her thing.
I mean, she looks unbelievable in
Yeah.
that movie. But
Colin Farrell's the best part.
I think the best, just the best little detail of it is that the guy Jamie Foxx plays, like the shitty
Yeah, it's like a bitch.
contract killer or whatever, but his name is Motherfucker Jones.
Yeah, that's
That's
great.
That's a great name.
Is Charlie Day good in anything that isn't Always Sunny?
Charlie Day's good.
He's great in that. He's,
All right, so
he's
is
the best part
Charlie
of
Day
that.
in anything good other than Always Sunny?
Good question.
He's good in Horrible Bosses.
Sure, but I'm saying he's better than the movie then. So
I don't
is
know.
there
Did anyone watch Fist Fight or whatever?
I think that's very bad.
Yeah.
Is he in another TV show?
I feel like he's in something. Charlie Day is a big Hollywood star. I'm
Yeah.
sure we could get this information.
He's
somewhere.
very and he's
Listeners, write in if you can think of
great. Yeah,
anything.
tell us about Charlie Day.
Tell us something good Charlie Day has been in that isn't Always Sunny in Philadelphia. And the answer, spoiler, the Horrible Bosses is bad apparently. So
The Denzel thing. What'd you think of the
I thought it
Denzel
was very
impersonator thing?
That was
I
a
think
funny
it would be
runner.
funnier if it was a white guy doing it.
All right, so the podcast has come full circle. We're back to blackface.
But also the detail of like Gary's ex and then him meeting at the gas station at the end was quite funny.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
good.
Yeah. The whole story about the guy pretending to be Denzel while she misunderstanding that whole storyline's very good. I liked the. Do you want to do like? See a lot of movies, not a lot of movies about people who are already married who stay married. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's
Kind of
usually
like a good couple.
Like there's like not like a love interest angle. There's like just an existing romance angle.
Yeah, just like these two people are
Yeah.
good.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah. Date Night. It had a very similar structure and tone to Date Night, and I think this was.
But
better.
isn't Date Night like the spark's gone out of their marriage?
Yeah, but it's about a couple who are still like each other.
Yeah.
I mean, there's always conflict. The conflict in this was didn't know if you wanted to have a kid
Yeah,
or not.
you gotta have something.
Yeah.
But it's in the way that it's like a regular couple and things get out of control.
Yeah. All right.
Did you realize that
I'm
you
the
had
Don
nowhere-
Draper of movie trailers.
Yeah.
Did you realize you had nowhere to go after that? So you just like,
I was trying to convey the tone of what I was saying. I was trying to express my point, you robot.
You're just trying to express yourself physically.
I just need to express myself physically.
Shall we
Finally, you yuck your own
Yeah.
bit.
Yeah. Shall we move on to the next ep? Like, shall we plug shit?
Yeah, let's plug
Yeah,
shit.
yeah.
What do you guys got coming
Come
up?
to comedy at Papa Getty's third Tuesday of every month at Papa Getty's Bar, 348 Kent Street, CBD.
Come to
Sydney.
Powerbomb Comedy every week. Come to Everly Comedy every week. I don't know if I'm hosting the Comedy Lounge.
This Thursday or next Thursday?
Next Thursday. Hosting the Comedy Lounge in March 11 or March 18th. Maybe.
I have a bunch of gigs coming up.
Yeah, I have a
Be,
ton.
be around.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm popular this week. No, actually, I'm not. I'm looking at it.
I have
I'm
therapy on the 27th of.
And where's-
So if you want to
And
stand
where-
outside the
Yeah.
office and taunt
not.
him,
And where's that at?
I'm not telling. That information could be used against me. No, not really. I got a surgery that I ended up putting off that was supposed to happen on the 28th of
Is that for
February.
your fucked sinus?
Yeah, it's septum, not sinus, but yeah. There's a particular date I'm looking for here. Hold on.
too much bloody whiz fizz.
Yeah.
Mr. I don't like cocaine
I haven't
that
done
much.
cocaine in ages. 9th, this is what I'm looking for. Saturday, the 9th of March, I'll be hosting at the Master Builders Club in Wollongong. If there's any Wollongong listeners, it would be excellent to see you there supporting me and my dreams of being a Wollongong person.
But what are you going to do to support their dreams?
Good comedy at the room that they paid to get into.
Their dream is to watch you succeed in
There.
comedy.
Yeah, they're
I can
going
only
like,
hope.
I've heard he's competent.
I'm actually, I feel like...
Or as described on the Comedy Lunch page, an adept host.
Jamie told him to do that.
Yeah,
it is
I did.
funny. To be fair, he did say you were a bloody brilliant comic, which is far more than
He
he
was
should
writing
have.
a bio to sell tickets. I'm not like... I'm like, wow, Reese Jones said that? It's like,
But-
okay,
no,
he's trying
but-
to sell fucking tickets.
But also, you know that it's more played up because he's been writing longer shit to compete with the new Surrey Hills rooms.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
So he
yeah.
said-
He wants his
like,
the
normally it
one
would
true
just be
king.
normally it would just be host is emo Andrew Hastings also supporting.
Yeah.
Yeah, come through. Yeah,
Come through.
I don't know, man. I need to take a shit. Let's wrap this up.
Do you actually need to take a shit in my marital home?
I'm gonna take a shit in your marital bed.
Take a shit on my marital chest.
Much props to Amy for not turning around then. Like, mad respect for that.
All right. Well, Hastings needs to go take a shit to the
Yep.
next step.
To the next step.
Hey, baby, let's play some Twister.
Ugh.